Earlier, Chinese hackers used to participate in hacking competitions around the world and secure the top positions, but after 2017, their presence suddenly disappeared. At first, no one understood why Chinese hackers were no longer participating. But then, in 2019, an incident occurred that exposed China's dangerous plan. In March 2017, a group of hackers from China traveled to Vancouver, Canada. Their mission was to find hidden vulnerabilities in the world's most widely used software and devices. Their targets were Google's Chrome browser, Microsoft Windows, and Apple's iPhone. But these people weren't there to do anything illegal. They had gone to participate in a legal hacking competition called Punt to Own. This is one of the world's biggest hacking competitions, where hackers hack company software to find security flaws or loopholes, and in return, they receive cash prizes. There are various prizes in this competition, ranging from $150,000 to $1 million. The biggest prize is awarded for finding a vulnerability that no one has discovered before, known as a zero-day vulnerability. When a hacker finds such a flaw, the details are given to the respective company like Google, Microsoft, or Apple, so they can immediately fix the problem or loophole by releasing a new update, and the hackers receive hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash prizes. In other words, this is an ethical hacking competition where hacking doesn't harm anyone but instead improves security. For many years, Chinese hackers led such competitions. Whether it was Punt to Own or any other hacking event, Chinese hackers always came out on top. But after 2017, everything suddenly changed. Chinese hackers who used to actively participate in hacking events worldwide suddenly disappeared. After 2017, everyone noticed the absence of Chinese hackers in all the hacking events. This silence was bothering everyone, especially America. And during this time, a random message from a major Chinese cybersecurity firm caught everyone's attention. Yes, 360 is a top cybersecurity firm in China. Its CEO, Zhou Hongyi, made a public statement in which he was seen heavily criticizing these Chinese hackers. He questioned why they were showcasing their hacking skills in foreign countries. He made this statement to China's news agency Sina, where Zhou said that performing well in such events is just an imaginary victory, meaning, that is, it's just a show. Their stance was that the vulnerabilities you people look for are not worth a few $100,000 but billions of dollars. Shortly after this statement from the CEO of Qihoo 360, Chinese hackers stopped participating in international hacking competitions. But it turned out that Chinese hackers didn't do this voluntarily, rather the Chinese government had stopped them. If anyone took the chief executive officer of Qihoo 360's statement seriously, it was the Chinese government. Shortly after, the Chinese government officially imposed a ban stating that cybersecurity researchers and hackers could no longer participate in overseas competitions. Immediately after this ban, a new hacking competition was launched within China itself called the Tianfu Cup. This competition became an alternative to international contests, and the prize money was set at over $1 million. The news of the launch of the Tianfu Cup raised alarms in several countries, as it indicated that China was now preparing itself for cyber warfare by utilizing hacking. In November 2018, the first Tianfu Cup event was organized in the Chinese city of Chengdu. A prize of $200,000 was won by Jin Zhao, a researcher from Qihoo 360 itself. He had discovered a very powerful and dangerous hack, and that too in Apple's iPhone. He started the attack through the Safari browser. Then he found a loophole in the iPhone's core system, and using this flaw, he was able to remotely control any iPhone just by making it open a web page. This meant that if anyone visited that particular web page on their iPhone, their phone would come under the hacker's control without them even noticing. Kijun named this exploit Chaos, and the name was absolutely perfect because in the coming months, this hack was going to become a major headache for cybersecurity experts around the world. The difference between China's Tianfu Cup and Canada's Punt to Own was that after finding a hack, they would directly hand it over to the company. But Tianfu Cup did exactly that. But through the Chinese government bound them so that any hack found in the Tianfu Cup would not be given directly to the company. Instead, it would first go to the Chinese government, and then the government itself would pass it on to the company. And this is where the real disaster was about to happen. This was a hack that, if sold on the black market, could fetch millions of dollars, and criminals or governments could use it to spy on thousands of people. 2 months later, in January 2018, Apple made a An update was released in which the bug that June had found was quietly fixed. But the real surprise came in August 2000. In 2019, that is, after 7 months, Google published a research paper in which they revealed that there was a mass-level hacking campaign going on targeting iPhones, and people's phones were being hacked on a large scale. Google's research identified 5 different exploit chains, and among those 5 was the same exploit called Chaos that June had demonstrated at Tianfu Cup. In other words, the very exploit that won June the prize was being used for mass surveillance of iPhones. In their report, Google's researchers stated that many aspects of the real-world hacking attacks they detected closely resembled the Chaos exploit. However, Google did not disclose who carried out these attacks or who the victims were. But later, it was revealed that the victims were Uyghur Muslims, and the attacker was none other than the Chinese government itself. Since 2014, China has committed very serious human rights violations against Uyghur Muslims and other minorities. All of this is happening in China's northwestern province of Xinjiang. Here, China has locked up millions of people in camps without any crime. Women there were sterilized so that their population would decrease. Cases of torture and sexual abuse have also been reported inside the camps. Every phone there was monitored to check if anyone had any religious content. If anything was found, the person would be given the harshest punishment. Chinese officials say that all this is being done to prevent extremism, but the US and several other countries have declared it a genocide. China's hacking campaign was not limited to just the Uyghur Muslims. Journalists, activists, and anyone who questioned the Chinese government's policies were also targeted. When Google's researchers published a report about the iPhone hacking, the media connected all the dots within just a few days. Later, Apple also revealed in a post that this hack actually continued for 2 months, and it was during this time that they won the cup. It was now clear to American experts that China had followed the strategy described by the chief executive officer of Qihu 360. In other words, by preventing Chinese hackers from going abroad, utilizing their skills within China, and then using those hacks to conduct surveillance on people. To prove this, US surveillance agencies conducted a full technical breakdown of Q exploit, and it matched exactly with the hack from Tianfu Cup. It matched. Later, Google's deep investigation also confirmed that the structures of Chaos and real-world attacks were identical. But the matter didn't stop there. In February 2024, some data was leaked on the code-sharing website GitHub. This was data from a Chinese company called iSoon, which is an IT security firm. This data included the company's emails, chat logs, and details about the development of spyware. The leaked data revealed that this company creates cyber spying tools which are later provided to the Chinese government and the People's Liberation Army. The leaked chats mention contracts between the Chinese Ministry of Public Security and iSoon. It came to light that iSoon charges the government between $10,000 and $75,000 for each hacked email inbox. Today, the Tianfu Cup has entered its 8th year and is sponsored by China's biggest tech giants such as TopSec, Alibaba, Baidu, and Qihu 360. But now American officials are very concerned because the people and companies participating in this competition are seen to have links with the Chinese military. TopSec is a Beijing-based company that organizes the Tianfu Cup. According to US officials, this company is actually recruiting China's nationalist hackers through the Tianfu Cup. All these things indicate to us that under the guise of the Tianfu Cup, China is preparing its own cyber weapons. And when national powers support hackers, it's not to win awards, but because they have a different objective altogether. In 2024, data from the US Treasury Department was hacked. According to the United States, Chinese state-sponsored hackers hacked into the US Treasury Department's computers and stole sensitive documents. In 2024 itself, Chinese hackers hacked the networks of at least 9 US telecom companies including AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. In 2021, Volt Typhoon, which is a Chinese hacking group, targeted the US's energy and water filtration systems. In 2023 as well, a malware attack came to light, which was carried out on a US military base in Guam. These are just a few references to hacking incidents that involved Chinese hackers. Experts say that when Chinese hacking groups target any infrastructure, they silently maintain their access within the system for years and only cause damage when the time is right. All these things make it clear that China is building an army of hackers within its own borders to prepare for cyber warfare. A war in which there are no missiles, only code forms the entire model. A kind of war where not missiles but just code can bring an entire nation to its knees. Where network jams can cause more damage than airstrikes. Where the spying tools in your phone are more dangerous than real-life agents. And where just one click can crash the stock market and send a wave of fear through the public. We hope you will like and share this video.